need more light. More lighting. Oh, could you turn on that light for me?
Yes. Which one? This one?
That one and the overhead one if we can, if that's still working. Okay. Does something, I think. Okay. Hopping over to the multi-stream. Okay. I wonder if Twitch is working too. It's been so long since I've done this. But yes, it is. I think that's the Twitch notification. Was it? Did you get?
I didn't get it.
Okay. I did.
It's probably what that was done.
But I did get a Twitch notification. So that's good. So I do find when I am painting over here, it's hard to hear me, and that I am really bad at paying attention to chat. So I'm going to try and pay attention, but if anyone comes in while I'm painting, just yell at me. Ping me a lot. No, that's fine. I like painting on a piece of paper because it allows me to use a lot more white and have like an impact in terms of like what colors and marks I'm making. I wonder how long the painting is actually going to be visible for because it's kind of hard to see anyway. I really like these pens though. They're the Precise Pilot pens, but they came in different colors, which is awesome. I think I should get some gel pens, or like, I guess I should stand over here so people can see me, but it's, wait. Do I want it so that I am visible or the painting? Okay. I think that's good. This is Kira updating me on this app called Trello, which is, maybe I should switch back to having the face cam even though I'm standing. I'll be like over here instead of over here. But yeah, this is what we get today. Okay. Because she is planning our entire wedding by herself, and I mean, she has amazing people helping her, but she's doing a lot of work, and it's just really great that she is doing so much. But my phone, I just haven't turned, well, I want the notifications, but for stream, I was going to turn them off, but if you hear dinging, it's just updating our Trello board, which is our like organizing feature for our wedding. This is my new, so this is my old camera on a new setup. So it's like, I got a C-stand so you can see, it's like a DSLR, which doesn't normally happen. But it's so that you can see the painting, and then that's better quality, whereas before it was a webcam that you were seeing everything with. So it'll be nice. I'm gonna set up a face cam, I think, like above my easel or something, so that I don't have to talk to you like this. Also, I think there's some latency on this, but we'll see. But But yeah, if you have any questions about this work, it's very different from what I was doing before, the last time I was streaming. So, like, I've always been an observational painter, pretty much, like, for the last 10 years, observational painting only. And this is, like, out of my head. I do paint from life still, and it'll look like this too. But it's like super maximal abstraction, like super chaotic, a lot of perception. I've been doing a lot of AIM Labs lately, and I feel like AIM Labs has a lot to do with this process. But it's just like me responding to the last mark I made, which is great. Kind of always generates a new image or a new work. I'm not sure if all my chat features are gonna work properly. It's been a little while since I have a multi-stream set up on Streamlabs, but I am interested in talking to people, so hopefully they work. I'm like partially talking to the stream and partially talking to you. Kira's in the background.
Nice.
She's behind this painting and you can't see her. I put this here to see if I could like redirect some light onto the painting because it's getting dark and late, but we might lose visibility soon. I really love orange. I used to hate like orange yellow, but I think I went through this epiphany once where I was like, orange is the warmest color. Like it has such power in it, like in terms of what you can mix with it and like how drastically things will change. It's like the ultimate compliment. And like compositionally, I like being in a middle ground, and orange is in a way a sort of middle ground. It's like a very extreme middle ground, and I don't fully know how to explain that well, but it is. Oh, I'm wearing something I painted recently too. I was gonna do a bunch of these on stream, but I haven't been feeling up for it lately, so but this is something new that you haven't seen. But yeah, these are like the shirts I was working on a while ago. They kind of grew into a giant collection. Not giant, moderate collection. Like there's this arcing shape right here, and then there's this kind of thing in the background, I guess. And I'm wondering like how to build up this space. I really like that I can use these like really high intensity kind of artificial colors, and they'll become a part like ocularly. We will mix them all together as people. So I'm definitely playing with color right now. I wasn't sure if I was going to paint on this because most of the time I just do these drawings with pen, but I just got these like big pieces of paper, and I was like, I think I could make some nice paintings on these, so I'm gonna do that. It's interesting because it's a paper I haven't worked on in a really long time. And it's really nice paper. It's Reeves BFK, which is my favorite drawing paper. It's like a printmaking paper, kind of like thicker weight. kind of dense fibers, and it absorbs really nicely and stains. So I'm excited for the versatility it has in terms of what media I use. I can just kind of switch around, build up some areas of really thick paint, and like go back. I've also switched to using acrylic. That's a new turn of events. I haven't used acrylic in years, but it allows me to work a lot faster and kind of like do these really thin lines and then draw back on top of it with pen within like minutes, rather than like an oil painting taking me forever to be able to draw back into. Also, I can layer like nice color without it degrading as it like sits and seeps into the colors before it, which is just really nice. The only issue is that it doesn't have as specific pigments as I would like it to. So in the past, I would have used I would have chosen oil paints because I was working perceptually or observationally exclusively. And now that, you know, the composition and the like application is a lot more important than the media or like the responsiveness of my eyes, it makes it a lot better in terms of what I can get from acrylic paint, and that makes it also much nicer to use acrylic paint and less toxic. Right now I'm trying to kind of place some of this, like I'm trying to kind of build up like what is this space over here, because it's definitely something. There's a lot happening here, and it's all kind of solidifying into a thing, you know. It's like crumbling or waving. Yeah, I see that. It's kind of that push. There's so much, it's so forgiving working this way too. Just responding to everything, and you know, I can use different colors, and it just gauges what the next choice is going to be. The next option is going to be something a little bit more attainable. I'm really bad about using clean brushes, so my color gets muddy pretty often. We got an espresso. I really wonder what the sound is like on this, actually. I think it's probably fine. I'm gonna turn down the music. I feel like that's probably not great. Okay. Turn down the music, turn myself up, and hopefully that's better. But let me know if I just ruined it or made it better. But I'm going to, what was I saying? Oh yeah, we got an espresso pot, which I have really liked. Also, it's much more affordable than my normal coffee habit, so that's nice. Although I did just buy, so our friend Eva Redamonte is a brilliant illustrator, like a really phenomenal illustrator. and she just made a bag of coffee design for this coffee company, and I did order a bunch of that coffee because I love coffee, and Eva's illustrations are awesome. Maybe I'll link that later in the description, her page on YouTube, because Twitch doesn't have descriptions. But this stream is on both YouTube and Twitch, so yeah. I'm just kind of trying to build out some of these. So I have this like really gray white happening right here, and it's because of this cream color. It feels super gray, and I'm trying to kind of build out what is happening with that motion. Like there might be something here, some space or some, it's the fur of an animal or something. I don't know, or it's a white piece of a shirt. I don't know. I like just anticipating what it could be that I'm drawing, because apparently I'm drawing something. But it doesn't actually have to be. Right now I'm working purely out of my head. In the past I've worked from portraits and things like that in this like visual language. But it's kind of fun traversing the world that I'm creating as I'm going. So if you have any ideas of what this is too, you can feel free to let me know. I'm kind of assuming most people are going to watch this after I've streamed, if anyone watches it. And I need to do this a lot more. I need to be streaming more frequently, because this feels so good just talking to a camera. There's something weird and like journaly about it, especially with like the paintings, and you kind of have to separate yourself from like all your anticipations and your expectations of the work and of your stream and of your life and like all the projects you're doing, to kind of publish yourself. And I think that's a really good way to deal with like some of the stresses that come with being an artist. Oh, that's cool. I almost mixed like the exact color of it's gonna be like a cool whiteout. Let's see. This like cream Reeves BFK color, I just got it. And we're gonna... Am I hearing something in the background? I feel like something is playing. I'm talking with my paintbrush in my mouth. Okay. It's just the music, I guess. It's just the music, I guess. But yeah. So sometimes what's cool, so something that I've thought about a lot since, so I make music sometimes, and a lot of what I think about in like electronic music production is like how silence can really aid a production, like how you can like kind of cause a pause with silence and like space. And I think there's something that you can do with whiteout or white in a drawing, or like the ground color. So mixing yourself a ground color if you're not working on a white drawing. You can like kind of introduce silence in a way, or like breaks and rhythm, just by like kind of interrupting what you've already drawn by like blocking it out and hiding it, pushing it away. But yeah, it's interesting. I didn't mean to mix this color at all, but I'm down with it. It's also hard when I'm mixing color, like at this time of day, like the dusk really changes the palette entirely. So like I have to be kind of like, these are not specific colors that I'm going to be working with at this time of day. Whereas like in the morning, I might be like, hey, I really want, like I see something in this painting that needs to be a certain color, and then I will mix the right like kind of concoction. I feel like I'm gonna look back on this recording and be like horrified at the quality, but we'll catch it once I'm done. I'm just happy to be doing it. Oh, it's so interesting looking at this on the computer. I can do that. Yeah, that made it clearer, I think. I don't know. I'll see it when I can see it on a big screen, but yeah, I'm thinking like I want to do these on a smaller scale so that I can do it on my lap, so I can have the camera at a better position. But I think it's gonna be interesting in any case. Just interrupting all the lines that I created earlier. I used to do whiteout drawings, so I would take like whiteout on like a white sketchbook page, and I would just draw that way. That would be like so hard to stream, to record. But it's cool. It's kind of where a lot of this started. A lot of these like abstractions started. Just the idea that you're responding to something you can't see. Okay. Going with some like very blue gray. Let's see what happens. So sometimes when you slightly change a hue, it gives you like this vibrance, because relative to the marks around it, it has like more pull or more power. And that's really exciting about these paintings, because it's just so many marks on top of each other that you kind of start to really see the vibrance of each color. And you start to, like, everything emphasizes everything else eventually, like things are kind of like fighting each other. So it's like a tug of war between all these different like colors and lines and marks, and the proportion of certain colors to other colors will create these like different balances, and it's exciting to work with. Super fun. And then I'll probably go back on top of all this and draw with pen again. Again, it's super forgiving. Like, very forgiving as to what you can do with the paint itself. As it gets darker, I will probably consider stopping more and more readily. I think the camera is starting to show up here because my lighting is directly behind it. I need a C-stand for my lighting too. That would be great. That's reasonable. I bet I could find one. Maybe I can make this even more vibrant, slightly bluer, slightly more pigmented. It's just the more pigment I use, the harder it is to lighten it. Like I'm gonna have to change hues if I want like a really light blue, or I'm gonna have to change the context of that color. But I think that's again, this is where that like forgiving quality is. It's like very easy to change the context of a color when you have so many colors building that like environment, that light space. And like a lot of times when I'm thinking of color, I'm thinking of it as like a light environment, you know, more than I am thinking of it as like a representation of some hue I'm seeing. Thinking of it as like, what is light doing in this space? It can be any color as long as it's reacting to your eyes the same way you want it to be. I love it too because these kind of like take on, you know, they start to tell you what they need. The paintings, at least, like these kinds of paintings, they're like, you can't do anything wrong, but you also, there's not really a way to finish. Hey Books. Bookie just crawled around the light. Wait, let's bring Books up, because he is here. Oh. It's great having the camera because I can show off Bookie better. This is our beautiful cat, Books. Okay, I will put you back down. Goodbye, Bookie. Alright. I also did that so that he would not bite my ankle, because sometimes when I'm standing, he thinks my ankles are toys, especially if they're hiding behind stuff. It's hard to see with all the glare. But I think we're making progress. I might need a lot of this, like, to go to balance everything and kind of put it in the same light space, same environment. This like bright blue gray color is a really interesting kind of starting point for the image. Books, is that window open? Probably. Oh, it is. Nice. I do like how different it is making shapes with a brush versus making shapes with a pen. There's something like really controllable about a pen, though I use it in a pretty uncontrolled manner. But it's still like I have so much more precision with a pen than I do with this. And these are sign painting brushes that I got because I really like having really tiny marks, hence why this is like so much information. You'll be able to see it better on Instagram, so after you watch this, go to my Instagram, and it will be up there, I think, maybe. But yeah, it's really interesting, kind of making these marks that define shape with something that doesn't have as much, like it takes a different kind of like muscle to draw what's happening. I do like that there's, it almost looks like a bird or a swan or something. I can't describe it here, but like you can kind of see it up there a little bit. I still don't know if this is any better quality than my old camera, but I think it is. Hey, good morning. How are you doing, Anton? Except to those kids who pushed you off a curb. I'm sorry they did that to you. How's it going? It's been a while. I haven't streamed in forever. How's my audio also, by the way? I'm working until the light abandons me. Something is itching. Do I have paint on my hand? No. Okay. You're alrighty. Okay, that's good. How's it been? Have you had any heat waves recently? The U.S. has been having heat waves, and we like traveled through all of them. Ah, okay. Well, do the something, and I'm not gonna ask you what that is. But I'm glad to see you. I'll be doing this more. You as well. I'll see you soon, maybe. I'm really tempted to stop painting soon so that I can play video games, which is, you know, this is kind of more important than video games, I think, but I want to play video games. There's a new map on Apex that I want to try. But yeah, that vibrance too. I just like desaturated a lot of this blue, but I think I'm going to. Oh, the chat box isn't working again. I'll probably have to figure that out too at some point. But I think I'm going to try to up the saturation so that it becomes more vibrant again. Maybe almost like a complete ultramarine. I do feel so much freer with this C-stand because I can like do a standing painting and it's like not super low quality and terrible, although the audio might be really messed up. I'm not sure. But then I can do like something on my lap. I can do my embroidery stuff. So I'm doing this new piece that just has a lot of embroidered pieces to it. Look at all that cloth fabric stuff. It's gonna be really cool, but it's huge, so that's gonna take me forever. But I can work on that flat, so this is a good experiment right now. try to lighten this and maybe. It's interesting because the more I include of this white color, the more it redefines the ground. So if I can balance the proportion of these like heavy colors, this like cream color, to one of the other colors that I'm painting with, it might create like a different image altogether. That's not the right wording for that, but I'm just gonna do it and you will see what I'm talking about. Maybe. Or you'll just see it and not know what I'm talking about. That's fine too. I do love painting on this Reeves BFK. I used to do it with oil paints, and those paintings are still like holding together. Like it's such a good paper. It's very expensive though. I think I'm going to wrap up because it's getting dark and I can't see my colors very well. But thank you for coming out, and I hope whoever watches this afterwards will come to the next stream. I'll see you soon.